Hey everyone, welcome to our Sleepy English podcast. Do you want to speak English more confidently and sound natural? Whether you're chatting with friends, traveling, or preparing for an interview, improving your spoken English can open up so many opportunities. In today's video, I'm sharing 15 easy tips that will help you speak more clearly, confidently, and fluently. So, if you're ready to boost your English skills, let's dive right in. 1. Speak English every day, even if you're alone. One of the best ways to improve your spoken English is to practice speaking every single day. It doesn't matter if you don't have anyone to talk to. You can still speak to yourself. This may sound strange at first, but it's a powerful method. Many English learners do not have English-speaking friends or family members, but that shouldn't stop you. You can still create your own speaking environment by simply talking out loud. You can do this at home, while walking, or even in front of a mirror. Speaking every day helps your brain get used to thinking in English. Over time, it becomes easier to find the right words, and you start to speak more naturally without thinking too much. When you speak English daily, you also train your mouth and tongue to pronounce the words correctly. This helps you sound more fluent. At first, you might feel shy or even a little silly talking to yourself. But the more you do it, the more comfortable it becomes. Think of it as practicing for a real conversation. If you talk to yourself every day, real conversations will feel less scary. You will already know how to express your thoughts because you've practiced many times alone. You won't freeze when someone asks you a question in English because you've already practiced similar things on your own. Talking to yourself in English doesn't need to be complicated. You can start by describing simple things. For example, you can talk about your day. I woke up at 7 a.m. I brushed my teeth. I had a cup of coffee. Or you can talk about what you see. There is a tree outside my window. It has green leaves. The sun is shining today. These simple sentences help you get used to forming ideas in English. After some time, your sentences will become longer and more complex. You'll start to use new words and express deeper thoughts. You can also pretend to have conversations. Ask yourself questions and answer them. For example, what do you like to eat? You can answer, I like pizza. It's my favorite food. Or what did you do yesterday? And answer with a short story. This kind of practice helps you think fast in English. You're not just saying words, you're training your brain to respond in English like a native speaker does. With time, you will become faster and more confident in real conversations. Another great idea is to create a routine. Set aside 10 or 15 minutes every day to speak English out loud. Maybe do it in the morning when you're getting ready, or in the evening before you sleep. Make it a habit, like brushing your teeth. When you do something every day, it becomes part of your life. You start to enjoy it. It stops feeling like homework and starts to feel natural. The key is to be consistent. Even if it's just a few minutes, do it every day. Regular practice is better than one long session once a week. You don't have to say perfect sentences. You don't need perfect grammar. The goal is not perfection. The goal is to practice speaking and build confidence. If you make a mistake, that's okay. Everyone makes mistakes when learning a new language. In fact, making mistakes is how we learn. The more you speak, the more you learn. Don't be afraid to try. Don't be afraid to sound silly. Just speak. The more you speak, the better you will get. If you want to track your progress, you can record yourself. Use your phone to make a short recording every day. You can talk about how you feel or what you did during the day. After a week or two, listen to the old recordings. You'll be surprised at how much you've improved. You will hear the difference in your voice. You will notice that you sound more fluent, more relaxed, and more confident. This is a great way to stay motivated. It shows you that your hard work is paying off. Sometimes, it's fun to set small challenges for yourself. You can pick a topic for each day. For example, on Monday, talk about your hobbies. On Tuesday, talk about your family. On Wednesday, describe your favorite movie. This makes practice more interesting. You're not just repeating the same things. You're exploring different topics, learning new words, and becoming more comfortable talking about many subjects. This will help you in real-life conversations too. If you want to make your speaking practice even better, combine it with listening. Listen to English podcasts, YouTube videos, or movies. Then try to repeat what you hear. This is called shadowing. It means you copy the speaker, using the same words, tone, and rhythm. It helps your pronunciation and fluency. It also teaches you how native speakers talk. You can learn common phrases and the natural flow of sentences. This method is very helpful when you don't have someone to talk to. Another idea is to use a mirror. Stand in front of a mirror and speak to yourself. Look into your own eyes. This may feel strange at first, but it builds confidence. It helps you focus on how you speak, and you become more aware of your facial expressions, body language, and pronunciation. Pretend you're giving a presentation or having a real conversation. This makes the practice feel more real and useful. You can also write down a few sentences and then try to say them out loud without looking. Start with a short paragraph. Read it, understand it, and then try to say it in your own words. This helps you remember vocabulary and learn to explain ideas in different ways. Over time, you will learn to express yourself more freely without needing to translate in your head. Remember, you are your best speaking partner. You don't need anyone else to start improving your English today. You have your voice, you have your thoughts, and you have the power to practice anytime, anywhere. Use that power. Speak English every day, even if you're alone. The more you practice, the faster you will improve. 2. Listen like a native. If you want to speak English well, you need to be a great listener first. Think about how babies learn to speak. They listen to their parents and people around them every day. Before they ever say their first word, they've already heard thousands of words. That's why listening is one of the most powerful tools for improving your spoken English. The more you listen, the more your brain understands how the language works. You begin to notice how sentences are formed, how words are pronounced, and how people express emotions using their voice. Listening often helps you speak more naturally, with the right tone and flow. To really improve your listening skills, try to surround yourself with English as much as possible. This is called immersion. Listen to English music while you're walking or doing chores. Watch English movies or TV shows in your free time. Choose podcasts that talk about things you like. When you listen to things you enjoy, it's easier to stay focused. You'll pick up more words and phrases without even trying too hard. But just listening is not enough. You have to listen actively. That means paying attention to what you hear and trying to learn from it. Active listening is different from just having something on in the background. When you listen actively, you focus on the sounds, the pronunciation, and the meaning of the words. For example, listen carefully to how native speakers say common words. Notice the way they stress certain syllables, or how their voice goes up or down when they ask a question or make a statement. English has a special rhythm, and learning this rhythm will help you sound more like a native speaker. You might not understand everything the first time you hear it. That's totally okay. In fact, it's normal. Don't be afraid to rewind or pause. If you hear a sentence you like, go back and listen to it again. Try to repeat it out loud. This helps your brain remember the pattern. Say it the same way the speaker did. Pay attention to the tone, the speed, and the way the words are connected. For example, in natural speech, native speakers often join words together. Instead of saying, "What are you doing?" they might say, "What you doin'?" Listening carefully will help you learn these natural sounds. It's also a great idea to take notes while listening. If you hear a new word or phrase, write it down. Try to guess what it means from the context, and then look it up later. After that, say the word or phrase out loud a few times to remember it. You can even write your own sentence using that new phrase. This turns your listening into learning. Over time, your vocabulary will grow, and your speaking will become more confident and smooth. If you want to learn quickly, try a method called shadowing. This means listening to a sentence and then repeating it immediately, like an echo. You don't need to pause the audio, just try to keep up with the speaker. This helps you learn how to speak faster, with better pronunciation and fluency. It's okay if you can't say everything perfectly at first. Just keep practicing. With time, your mouth and brain will start working together more smoothly. Another helpful trick is to watch English videos with subtitles first. Start with English subtitles. Read and listen at the same time. This helps you connect the written words with the sounds. After some practice, try turning off the subtitles and see how much you understand just by listening. You'll be surprised at how much progress you make. If something is too difficult, don't give up. Just choose something a little easier. The goal is to challenge yourself without getting frustrated. Try to listen to different types of English too. English is spoken in many countries: the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, and more. Each place has its own accent and way of speaking. Listening to different accents helps you become more flexible and confident. If you only listen to one accent, it might be hard to understand people from other places later. So mix it up. Watch a British movie one day, then an American podcast the next. You can also improve your listening by listening to the same things more than once. The first time, just enjoy it. The second time, focus on the pronunciation. The third time, repeat the sentences. Every time you listen, you'll notice something new. You'll hear a word you missed or understand a phrase that didn't make sense before. This kind of repeated listening is very powerful for language learning. Even short daily practice can make a big difference. Just 10 or 15 minutes of focused listening every day can improve your speaking skills over time. You'll find that you start using phrases you heard in your own conversations. Your grammar will improve without studying too much. Your pronunciation will sound more natural. And most importantly, you'll feel more confident when speaking with others. Listening is like feeding your brain with the right sounds. The more you feed it, the better it gets at understanding and using English. It's like learning a new song. At first, you might only remember the chorus, but after listening a few more times, you remember the whole song. English works the same way. You need to hear the music of the language, the rhythm, the melody, the feeling behind the words. So, listen like a native. Make English part of your daily life. Choose what you enjoy, listen actively, repeat what you hear, and speak it out loud. Over time, you will not only understand better, you will also speak better. And that's the magic of listening. 3. Think in English. One of the biggest reasons people struggle with speaking English smoothly is because they try to translate everything in their head. When someone asks a question in English, they first think of the answer in their native language, then translate it into English before speaking. This takes time and causes hesitation. It's like having a traffic jam in your brain. That's why learning to think in English is one of the most powerful steps you can take to become a fluent speaker. Thinking in English means you train your brain to use English automatically without needing to translate. It sounds difficult at first, but you don't have to start with full sentences. Begin with simple words. For example, when you see a book, don't say the word in your language. Just say book in your mind. When you look at your clothes, think shirt, pants, shoes. This helps your brain connect real-life objects with English words directly. It's a small but important step toward fluency. As you get more comfortable, move on to short phrases. Instead of just thinking apple, try thinking, this apple looks fresh, or I want to eat this apple. Slowly build up to full thoughts. For example, when you're making tea, think, I'm boiling water or I need sugar. When you're walking, think, it's a nice day or I forgot my umbrella. Doing this regularly helps your brain become used to thinking in English. Over time, you'll stop translating and just speak naturally. You can practice this anytime, anywhere while walking, cleaning, shopping, or even before bed. Pick a time during your day when you usually have quiet time and start describing your actions in your mind. For example, I am brushing my teeth, or I am looking for my keys. This might seem silly at first, but it's actually a powerful way to train your brain. Another great tip is to keep a thought journal in English. Every night, write a few sentences about your day in English. Even better, speak those thoughts out loud. Say what you did, how you felt, what you're planning for tomorrow. These small moments of daily reflection help build fluency and confidence. It also makes English a more natural part of your life. You don't need perfect grammar when thinking in English. Don't worry about making mistakes in your head. The goal is to make English your first response, your natural choice. The more you do this, the faster your brain gets used to it. And when it's time to speak out loud, your words will come more easily and quickly. Sometimes you may get stuck. You might want to say something, but you don't know the English word. That's okay. In that moment, try to describe the word in other ways using English. For example, if you forget the word pillow, you can think, the soft thing I sleep on. This forces you to stay in English and helps you build creative language skills. Later, look up the word and learn it properly. That way, you keep growing your vocabulary too. If you want to go even further, you can label things around your house with English words. Put small sticky notes on items like mirror, window, refrigerator, door, or lamp. Every time you see them, your brain will register the English word. Eventually, you won't need the labels anymore because the words will become part of your everyday thinking. You can also try imaginary conversations in your mind. Think about how you would introduce yourself to someone in English. Imagine you're ordering food at a restaurant or asking for directions. Practice how the conversation might go. This helps prepare your brain for real conversations. The more often you do this, the easier it becomes to speak in real-life situations. When you think in English, you are training your mind to work faster. There's no pause for translation. You see something, you think in English, and you speak in English. This is what fluent speakers do. And you can too with practice. It may feel strange at first, but stick with it. Your brain is very smart. It learns quickly when you give it the chance. Think of it like building muscle. Every time you think in English, you are making that muscle stronger. At first, it's weak and slow, but with daily practice, it becomes faster and more powerful. And one day, you'll realize you're thinking in English without even trying. That's when you know fluency is truly growing inside you. So start small. Think of simple words, then grow to short sentences, then full thoughts. Make English a part of your inner voice. This habit will change the way you speak forever. And the best part, you can do it anytime, anywhere, without needing a teacher or a classroom. Just you, your thoughts, and the power of practice. For use, mirror practice. Practicing English in front of a mirror might sound simple, but it's actually one of the most effective and powerful techniques to improve your speaking skills. It's like having your own private audience, just you and your reflection. When you speak in front of a mirror, you become more aware of how you look, how you sound, and how confident you appear. This awareness is a big step toward becoming a better English speaker. One of the biggest benefits of mirror practice is that it helps you build confidence. Speaking in a new language can be scary, especially when you're around other people. You might worry about making mistakes or being judged. But when you speak to yourself in the mirror, there's no pressure. You're free to make mistakes, repeat yourself, or try again without feeling embarrassed. This gives you a safe space to practice and improve. Start small. Stand in front of a mirror and greet yourself in English. Say things like, "Good morning, how are you today?" Or "What are your plans for the day?" Even these short conversations with your reflection can make a difference. Over time, you can move on to more detailed topics. Pick something simple, like your favorite food, a recent movie you watched, or what you did yesterday. Speak for 2 to 3 minutes. Try to keep talking without stopping, just like you would in a real conversation. When you speak in front of a mirror, pay attention to your facial expressions and body language. Are you smiling? Do you look nervous? Are you using your hands naturally while speaking? These things are important, especially when you're preparing for real-life situations like interviews, meetings, or presentations. Looking confident and relaxed helps people understand you better and makes your message stronger. Also, mirror practice helps you improve your pronunciation and fluency. When you hear yourself speak, you'll notice if something sounds strange or unnatural. If a word is difficult to pronounce, repeat it slowly and clearly until it feels right. This is a great way to work on difficult sounds and learn how to move your mouth properly for English words. For example, if you have trouble with the TH sound in words like think or this, you can practice it while watching your mouth move in the mirror. You can also use this time to prepare for real conversations. If you have an interview coming up, practice answering common questions in front of the mirror. If you're planning to meet a friend and speak in English, rehearse the conversation beforehand. This kind of preparation reduces nervousness and makes you feel more ready. When the real moment comes, your brain will remember that you've already practiced it. Another fun idea is to act like you're giving a speech or presentation. Pick a topic and explain it clearly to your reflection, as if you were talking to a group of people. Use gestures, keep eye contact with your reflection, and speak with energy. This will not only improve your speaking skills, but also your presentation and storytelling skills. It's a great way to build fluency and express ideas more clearly and confidently. It's also helpful to record your mirror practice sessions on your phone. Later, you can listen or watch the recordings and check your progress. Are you speaking clearly? Are you using filler words like and too often? Are you using a wide range of vocabulary or repeating the same words? Noticing these patterns can help you grow and correct your mistakes. You don't need a lot of time to benefit from mirror practice. Even just 5-10 minutes a day can bring big improvements over time. The key is to make it a habit. Try to practice daily, maybe in the morning or before bed. The more often you speak to yourself, the more natural it becomes. Slowly, your hesitation will disappear and your confidence will grow. So, don't be shy, talk to the person in the mirror. They're not judging you. They're helping you grow. Mirror practice is like a personal training session for your English speaking skills. It may feel a little funny at first, but soon you'll start to enjoy it. You'll become more aware of your speaking style, and that awareness will help you become a stronger, more confident English speaker. 5. Learn phrases, not just words. When you're learning English, it's common to focus on single words like apple, run, or beautiful. But if you want to sound fluent and natural, learning only words isn't enough. You need to learn phrases, groups of words that native speakers use every day. These are like building blocks for real conversations, and they make your English sound smooth and confident. Think about how we speak in our native language. We rarely talk using just single words. We use full expressions that carry meaning. For example, instead of just saying want and water, we say, "Can I get a glass of water?" This full phrase sounds more natural and polite. Native speakers use these kinds of phrases or chunks of language all the time. Learning them helps you speak more like a native. Phrases are great because they save you time while speaking. When you know a full expression, you don't have to build a sentence word by word in your head. It just comes out naturally. For example, if you learn the phrase, "It's up to you," you can use it whenever someone asks you to make a decision. You won't stop to think about the grammar or vocabulary, you'll just say it. Also, many English phrases can't be understood just by translating the individual words. These are called idiomatic expressions. For example, if someone says, "It's raining cats and dogs," it doesn't mean animals are falling from the sky. It means it's raining very heavily. If you only learn single words, these kinds of expressions can be confusing. But if you learn the whole phrase, you'll understand the meaning clearly. A good way to learn phrases is by listening to native speakers in movies, podcasts, YouTube videos, or conversations. Pay attention to the expressions they use again and again. For example, phrases like "That sounds good," "Let me think about it," "No worries, I'm not sure," and "What do you mean?" are all very common in daily speech. These are the kinds of phrases that make your English sound real and fluent. Once you hear a new phrase, write it down in a notebook or on your phone. Try to note at least 5 new phrases each day. Don't just write them, practice saying them out loud. Use them in your daily mirror practice or in small conversations with friends. Try to make your own sentences using the phrase. For example, if you learn "That's a great idea," you might say, "That's a great idea. Let's do it tomorrow." Using the phrase in a real sentence helps you remember it better. You can also create a small phrase bank or flashcards. On one side, write the English phrase. On the other, write the meaning and an example sentence. Review these flashcards every day. Repetition is important. The more often you see and use a phrase, the more natural it becomes when you speak. Another fun method is to group phrases by situation. For example, learn phrases you can use at a restaurant, like "Can I see the menu?" "I'd like to order," or "Could I get the bill, please?" Then move on to another group like phrases for meeting new people. "Nice to meet you. Where are you from? What do you do?" This helps you prepare for real-life situations, so when the moment comes, you already know what to say. Learning phrases also helps with grammar. Many phrases follow common grammar patterns, so by using them, you're naturally improving your grammar too. For example, if you often say, "I'm thinking about going," you'll get used to the structure. "I'm thinking about" plus verb ing. This makes learning grammar easier and more natural. So if you want to speak English more fluently, don't just memorize single words. Focus on useful phrases and expressions. These are the tools that help you build real conversations, express your thoughts clearly, and sound more like a native speaker. Practice them daily. Use them often, and soon you'll notice a big improvement in how you speak and understand English. 6. Record yourself speaking. One of the most powerful and simple ways to improve your spoken English is to record yourself speaking. At first, it might feel a little strange or even awkward to hear your own voice. But trust me, this method is a game changer when it comes to building your confidence and improving your fluency. Imagine you're learning to play a sport. Athletes often watch videos of their games to see what they did well and where they need to improve. Learning to speak English is very similar. When you record yourself, you become your own coach. You can listen to how you sound, hear the words you mispronounce, notice where you pause too much, or realize you're speaking too fast or too slowly. It gives you a clear picture of your current level, and that's how you start improving. Here's how to start. Pick a simple topic that you enjoy. It could be anything: your favorite movie, what you did today, your future goals, or even describing a photo. Then set a timer for 5 minutes. Take a deep breath and speak out loud in English while recording yourself using your phone or computer. Don't worry about being perfect. The goal is to just speak freely and naturally. After recording, play it back and listen carefully. Try to be kind and honest with yourself. Ask questions like, did I speak clearly? Did I use any words too many times? Did I hesitate a lot or get stuck? Did I pronounce words correctly? Was my voice too fast, too slow, or just right? Take notes if needed. If you find some words difficult to pronounce, practice them slowly and clearly. Say them several times until you feel comfortable. You can also look them up online to hear how native speakers pronounce them. Over time, you'll catch your common mistakes and get better at fixing them. Recording also helps you track your progress. Save your recordings and listen to them again after a week or a month. You'll probably be surprised by how much you've improved. Your sentences might be longer, your pronunciation clearer, and your voice more confident. This is great motivation to keep going. Another good trick is to repeat the same topic after a few days. First, record yourself talking about your daily routine. After practicing and learning new words, try the same topic again. Compare both recordings. You'll notice how your vocabulary has grown and how you speak more smoothly. Also, try to imitate native speakers by recording yourself saying the same lines from a movie, podcast, or YouTube video. This is called shadowing. Play a short sentence, pause, and repeat it in your own voice while recording. Then listen to both versions and compare your tone, rhythm, and pronunciation. It's a great way to sound more natural and fluent. If you feel brave enough, you can even share your recordings with a friend or tutor and ask for feedback. Sometimes, others can catch mistakes you might miss. They can also tell you what sounds great, which can boost your confidence. Don't worry about making mistakes when you record. Mistakes are a normal part of learning. The key is to keep practicing regularly. Try recording yourself a few times a week, or even daily if possible. Just 5 minutes a day can make a big difference over time. Recording yourself is more than just a practice. It's a habit that builds self-awareness, confidence, and fluency. The more you do it, the more comfortable and natural speaking English will become. 7. Shadow native speakers. If you want to sound more fluent and natural when speaking English, one of the best techniques you can try is shadowing. It's simple, fun, and very effective. Shadowing means listening to a native English speaker and repeating what they say right after they say it, almost like you're their shadow. You try to match their voice, tone, rhythm, and speed as closely as possible. Think of it like singing along to your favorite song. When you sing with the artist, you're copying their style, timing, and pronunciation. Shadowing works the same way, but instead of singing, you're copying spoken English. You can use podcasts, YouTube videos, TV shows, or movie scenes, anything that has clear and natural English speech. Start with a short audio clip, about 30 seconds to 1 minute long. Play the clip and listen carefully. Then play it again, and this time, repeat each sentence or phrase as soon as you hear it. Try to copy every detail, the way the speaker rises and falls in their tone, the pauses they take, the emotion in their voice, and the way they connect words together. Don't worry if it's not perfect at first. This is about training your ears, brain, and mouth to work together in English. Shadowing helps you in many ways. First, it improves your pronunciation. You hear how native speakers really say words, not just how they look in writing. You learn the correct intonation, that musical rise and fall in your voice that makes your speech sound natural. You also learn how words connect in real speech. For example, native speakers often blend words together. Want to becomes wanna, or did you becomes didya. These small changes are normal in spoken English, and shadowing helps you catch them. Another great benefit of shadowing is that it improves your speaking speed and rhythm. When you speak along with a native speaker, you start to match their pace. You'll learn when to speak slowly and when to speak quickly, when to pause, and how to express emotion with your voice. All of this makes your English sound smoother and more confident. At first, it might be hard to keep up. That's okay. Go slowly and repeat the same clip many times if needed. You can even use subtitles or transcripts if you need help understanding the words. As you get better, challenge yourself with faster or more difficult clips. But always remember, quality is more important than speed. It's better to speak slowly and clearly like a native than to speak fast and make mistakes. Here's a sample routine you can follow. Choose a short video or podcast. Listen once without speaking. Listen again and repeat each line, trying to match it exactly. Pause and rewind as needed. Practice the same clip for several days until it feels natural. Record yourself and compare your voice to the original. You'll notice a big improvement in how you sound. Many language learners say that shadowing was the turning point for their fluency. Just 5 to 10 minutes a day can make a huge difference over time. If you feel bored doing the same clip every day, switch things up. Try shadowing a funny scene from a TV show, a motivational speech, or even an audiobook. Choose something that interests you because you're more likely to stick with it. You can even pretend you're an actor and perform the lines like you're in a movie. This makes the practice more enjoyable and helps you feel more confident speaking aloud. In short, shadowing is like having a private speaking coach, except it's free, and you can do it anytime, anywhere. It's one of the most powerful tools to help you sound more like a native speaker, build your confidence, and develop a natural speaking flow. 8. Expand your vocabulary with use. Expanding your vocabulary in English goes beyond simply memorizing words. The real trick to mastering new vocabulary is using it actively in your daily life. Knowing a word's meaning is important, but to truly make it part of your active vocabulary, you need to practice using it in sentences, speaking it out loud, and incorporating it into real conversations. This helps you remember the word in a natural and meaningful way. For example, imagine you've just learned the word elaborate. While you might know that it means to explain something in more detail, simply knowing the definition isn't enough. To make it stick, you need to use it. You could try saying, "Could you elaborate on that idea a little more?" Or "Let me elaborate on what I meant." The more you use the word, the easier it becomes to remember. One of the best ways to learn new words is through contextual learning, which means you learn words by using them in real-world situations, rather than just memorizing them in isolation. For instance, if you're learning the word stubborn, don't just focus on the definition. Try using it in different contexts. "I'm feeling stubborn about my decision today," or "She's a bit stubborn, but that's part of her charm." By using the word in various ways, you create connections in your mind that make it easier to recall later. A great way to keep learning vocabulary is by choosing a few new words every day. You don't need to overwhelm yourself with too many words at once. Just focus on learning 3 to 5 new words a day. This will keep the process manageable. After choosing your words, try writing sentences or short stories using them. For instance, if you've learned the word adventure, you might write a sentence like, "I went on an adventure last weekend, and it was unforgettable." The act of writing helps solidify your understanding of the word and gives you a chance to see how it fits into a sentence. Saying these words out loud is another powerful practice. It helps you remember how they sound and gets you used to saying them naturally. By speaking the words, you also train your brain to recognize them more quickly when you hear them in conversations with others. Another great way to learn is by using the new words in your everyday conversations. If you're chatting with a friend, try slipping a new word into the conversation. "I'm feeling a bit stubborn today, but I'll get it done." Using new vocabulary in real conversations makes it feel more natural and helps you recall the words faster when you need them. Sometimes, writing short stories or dialogues using new words is helpful too. Even if you're just doing this exercise for yourself, it helps you think creatively about how to use the words. Writing also gives you the chance to experiment with different ways to use vocabulary, which makes it easier to incorporate into your speech later. You can even keep a vocabulary journal to track the new words you're learning. In this journal, you can write down the word, its meaning, and a few example sentences. You might also add anything that helps you remember the word, like a related image or a color, to make the word stand out. This extra step helps reinforce what you've learned and makes it easier to recall when you need to use the word in conversation. The key to expanding your vocabulary is to use the words regularly. The more you practice, the more natural these words will become in your speech. Don't worry if you make mistakes while using them. That's completely normal. The important thing is that you keep practicing, and over time, you'll notice your vocabulary growing and your ability to speak more naturally and confidently in English. 9. Join English speaking groups. Joining English speaking groups is one of the best ways to improve your spoken English. Practice truly does make perfect, and when you practice with others, it becomes a more enjoyable and rewarding experience. Whether you join a local conversation club or an online platform like Meetup or Tandem, you'll have the opportunity to meet people who are also learning English, as well as native speakers who can offer valuable insights. Being part of a group gives you real life experience in speaking English, which is crucial for building confidence. Instead of just practicing alone or with limited resources, you get the chance to engage in real conversations where you can learn how native speakers communicate and use everyday language. You can also ask questions about phrases or expressions that you don't understand and get immediate feedback from others, which accelerates your learning. One of the most helpful things about group settings is that they push you out of your comfort zone. Speaking in front of others, especially in a group setting, can feel intimidating at first, but it's a powerful way to improve. When you're in a group, you often need to express your ideas clearly and concisely, which helps you practice speaking more naturally and confidently. You'll become accustomed to thinking quickly in English, and over time, you'll find that your hesitation starts to fade. Another benefit of joining these groups is that you can learn from other learners as well as from native speakers. You'll see how others form their sentences, how they use intonation, and how they handle different situations in English. Sometimes, it's easier to relate to someone who is also learning because they may be going through the same challenges and frustrations as you. On the other hand, interacting with native speakers helps you understand colloquial language, slang, and the rhythms of everyday speech. In addition to the learning benefits, speaking with others also makes the process more fun. Language learning can sometimes feel isolating when you're practicing alone, but when you join a group, you get to connect with others, share experiences, and have conversations that are more engaging and interactive. It can even become a social activity that you look forward to, especially if you find a group of like-minded learners. Whether it's through a physical meetup or an online platform, being part of an English-speaking group helps you practice in a supportive environment where everyone is working toward the same goal, improving their language skills. The feedback you get from others, along with the sense of community and shared learning, will help you become more confident and fluent in English. In time, these group experiences will significantly enhance your spoken English. You'll get better at understanding different accents, speaking in a variety of contexts, and finding your voice in English. The more you practice in a group setting, the more comfortable you'll become, and the faster you'll see improvement in your speaking abilities. So, don't hesitate. Find an English-speaking group near you or online and start practicing. 10. Practice with a language partner or tutor. Practicing with a language partner or tutor is an excellent way to accelerate your progress in spoken English. Whether you choose a language exchange partner or a professional tutor, both offer unique advantages that can help you grow your skills and build confidence. Language exchange apps are a great way to connect with people from around the world. These platforms pair you with someone who wants to learn your native language while you practice English with them. This reciprocal learning relationship not only allows you to practice speaking English regularly, but also helps you improve your listening skills as you engage with a native speaker. You'll learn common expressions, slang, and everyday language, which are often not found in textbooks or formal lessons. The best part is that you get to practice in a relaxed, friendly environment where both of you are equally invested in helping each other improve. On the other hand, having a tutor can provide a more structured approach to learning. A tutor can offer personalized lessons tailored to your specific needs, giving you direct feedback and correcting your mistakes in real time. They can focus on areas where you may be struggling, whether it's pronunciation, grammar, or fluency, and provide strategies to improve. This one-on-one guidance ensures that you're practicing in a way that suits your learning style and goals, and the feedback you receive will help you progress faster. Consistency is key when practicing with a partner or tutor. You don't need long hours of practice every day. Even short, 15-minute conversations every day can lead to noticeable improvements over a few weeks. The key is to make it a regular habit. These brief, consistent practice sessions will help you develop the confidence to speak more naturally and fluidly. You'll get comfortable with different types of conversations, from casual chats to more formal discussions. And over time, you'll notice a huge difference in your ability to express yourself clearly and confidently. Having a speaking partner or tutor also provides a motivational boost. It's easy to get discouraged when learning a language on your own, but when you have someone to practice with, you're more likely to stay motivated and committed. A language partner can encourage you to keep going, celebrate your progress, and offer support when you face challenges. Similarly, a tutor can guide you through any obstacles and help you stay on track with your learning goals. One of the most beneficial aspects of practicing with a partner or tutor is that it gives you the opportunity to practice in a safe, non-judgmental space. You can make mistakes, ask questions, and experiment with new vocabulary without worrying about being judged. This freedom to make errors is crucial for building your confidence and overcoming the fear of speaking in a foreign language. Additionally, practicing with a language partner or tutor helps you develop better conversation skills. You'll learn how to start and maintain a conversation, ask follow-up questions, and respond to new ideas. These skills are essential for real-life interactions and will make you feel more comfortable when speaking with others in English. Ultimately, whether you choose a language partner or a tutor, the key is to practice regularly and consistently. The more you speak, the easier it will become. You'll not only improve your language skills, but also gain the confidence to use English in any situation, whether it's in casual conversations, professional settings, or travel. So, find a language partner or tutor and start practicing today. You'll be amazed at how quickly you can improve. 11. Focus on pronunciation, not just grammar. When learning to speak English, it's easy to get caught up in mastering grammar. While grammar is certainly important, focusing too much on it can sometimes hold you back from speaking fluently. The truth is, when it comes to speaking, pronunciation and clarity matter far more than perfect grammar. As long as you speak clearly and confidently, native speakers will still understand you, even if your grammar isn't flawless. One of the first steps to improving your pronunciation is to recognize that it's an essential part of communication. In fact, people often judge your fluency based on how well you pronounce words, and how easy it is to understand you. If you mispronounce key words or your speech is unclear, it can make it harder for others to follow your conversation, even if your grammar is perfect. On the other hand, if you speak clearly, your message will come across, regardless of any small grammar mistakes you might make. This is why it's so important to prioritize pronunciation in your practice. There are many tools available that can help you improve your pronunciation. Youglish, for example, is a great platform that allows you to hear how words are pronounced in different contexts by native speakers. By listening to the word being used in sentences, you'll get a better understanding of its correct pronunciation. Another useful tool is Google Translate, which offers audio pronunciation for individual words and phrases. Simply type in a word, and you can hear how it's supposed to sound. Listening to these tools will help you familiarize yourself with the natural rhythm, stress, and intonation of English words. One of the most effective ways to practice pronunciation is by repeating difficult sounds or words. English has some sounds that may not exist in your native language, making them tricky to pronounce. For example, the TH sound in words like this or that can be difficult for many learners. To master such sounds, practice them repeatedly until your mouth gets used to the motion. You can also break down complex words into smaller syllables and focus on pronouncing each syllable correctly before putting them all together. Recording yourself speaking is another valuable tool for improving your pronunciation. By listening to your own voice, you'll be able to identify areas where you may need improvement. Once you've recorded yourself, compare it to native speakers. Listen to how their speech flows, how they stress certain words, and how they connect sounds. This will help you refine your pronunciation and adjust your speaking style. It's also a good idea to listen to recordings of your speech over time so that you can track your progress and notice areas where you've improved or still need to work. It's important to remember that pronunciation isn't something you can perfect overnight. Like any other skill, it takes time and consistent practice. The more you practice, the more your mouth and brain will adjust to speaking English. You'll start to feel more comfortable with the sounds, and your speech will become clearer and more natural. So, don't worry if your pronunciation isn't perfect at first. Focus on clarity, repeat difficult words, and keep practicing. Over time, your pronunciation will improve, and your spoken English will sound much more fluent. 12. Slow down and speak clearly. When learning to speak English, it's common to feel pressure to speak quickly, especially if you're trying to keep up with native speakers. However, it's essential to remember that fluency isn't about speed. It's about speaking clearly and confidently. Rushing through your sentences might make you feel like you're speaking more fluidly, but it can actually lead to mistakes, mispronunciations, and a loss of clarity. One of the most important aspects of speaking English fluently is to slow down and give yourself the space to pronounce words correctly. Speaking too fast can cause you to jumble your thoughts and stumble over words, making it harder for both you and your listener to understand what you're saying. This can create unnecessary stress, which could actually slow down your progress in the long run. Instead of focusing on speed, focus on clarity. Speak at a comfortable pace, ensuring that each word is pronounced fully and that your sentences are well formed. If you're unsure about how to pronounce a word, don't rush through it. Take your time and get it right. Slowing down also allows you to organize your thoughts better, which makes it easier to express yourself clearly. Pausing between sentences is another helpful strategy. It's tempting to speak quickly in an effort to fill any silence, but pausing actually improves communication. Pauses give you time to think about your next sentence, helping you avoid mistakes or losing track of your thoughts. It also gives your listener a moment to process what you've said before moving on to the next point. This creates a more natural flow to the conversation and helps both parties stay engaged. When you slow down and focus on speaking clearly, it will not only improve your fluency, but also boost your confidence. It's normal to feel a little nervous when speaking a foreign language, especially when you're just starting out. But by speaking slowly and clearly, you'll feel more in control of the conversation. You'll also notice that when you speak with clarity, people are more likely to respond with patience and understanding, which further boosts your confidence. As you continue practicing, you'll start to notice that your natural speaking pace will increase. You may begin speaking a little faster as your comfort with English grows, but it's important not to rush through conversations. It's more important to maintain clarity and confidence than to speak quickly. Over time, you'll find a balance between speed and clarity, where you can speak at a comfortable pace that feels natural without sacrificing your message. The key to improving your spoken English is not to rush through your sentences, but to slow down and speak clearly. Take your time with each word and pause when necessary. This not only helps your listener understand you better, but it also gives you more time to think and express yourself. Over time, as your confidence and skills improve, your natural speaking pace will increase. But always remember that clarity is the priority. 13. Use English in real life. One of the most effective ways to improve your spoken English is by incorporating it into your daily life. Instead of seeing English as something you only practice in a classroom or during dedicated study time, try to make it a part of your everyday routine. The more you use English in real-life situations, the more natural and effortless it will feel over time. You don't need to wait for a special moment or setting to practice. There are so many opportunities right in front of you every single day. For instance, you can start by labeling items around your home in English. It may seem like a simple thing, but this technique exposes you to new vocabulary constantly. Every time you open the fridge, you'll be reminded of the word fridge, milk, or eggs in English. As you walk through your home, you'll be reinforcing the words for objects like table, door, or mirror. Over time, this simple practice will not only help expand your vocabulary, but also help you remember how to use words in context when speaking. Another easy way to use English in real life is by ordering food in English whenever you get the chance. If you're at a restaurant or ordering takeaway, try asking the server for recommendations or talking about your preferences in English. Even if the person you're speaking to doesn't speak English perfectly, the act of practicing your speaking in a real-world setting is incredibly valuable. You'll learn how to phrase questions, make requests, and hold a conversation, all while putting your vocabulary and grammar skills to the test. You can also take English with you when you're running errands or traveling around. Next time you need to ask for directions, try doing it in English. If you're in a place where English isn't the primary language, this is an excellent chance to practice speaking in an immersive setting. Even if you don't get everything right, making the effort will push you out of your comfort zone and help you build confidence in real-world conversations. It's these real interactions that help make English more than just a set of rules or words. They turn it into a functional tool that you can use to navigate the world around you. Writing your shopping list in English is another small but effective strategy. While it may feel like a minor change, writing out your list in English forces you to think about the names of products and categories in English. The next time you're at the store, you'll be surprised at how much easier it is to recognize items and engage in English conversations with store employees. Plus, it makes the whole learning process feel much more relevant to your life. These small, everyday practices may seem insignificant, but when combined, they add up to a big difference. By turning ordinary activities into opportunities for practice, you're creating a constant exposure to English. The more you use the language in your day-to-day life, the less it will feel like a chore or something you have to force yourself to do. Instead, it will become an organic part of your life, helping you learn and grow in a way that's both practical and enjoyable. So, whether you're labeling items around the house, ordering food, or simply chatting with a friend in English, take advantage of every opportunity to practice. The more you use English in real-life situations, the more confident and comfortable you'll become speaking it naturally. 14. Celebrate your progress. Language learning is a journey, and it's important to celebrate every step along the way. Progress might feel slow at times, especially when you're working hard to improve your spoken English. But the truth is, you are making strides. Often, we get so caught up in wanting to be fluent that we forget to acknowledge how much we've already learned. That's why it's essential to take a moment to celebrate your progress, no matter how small it seems. By doing so, you'll stay motivated and remind yourself that each effort is bringing you closer to your goal. One of the best ways to track your progress is by keeping a journal. Start by jotting down what you've learned each day or week. You can write about new words, phrases, or grammar rules that you've mastered. Recording your progress allows you to look back and see how much you've accomplished, which can be incredibly motivating. It's easy to forget how much you've improved if you don't take the time to reflect on it. A journal not only helps you keep track of your learning, but also gives you a sense of pride as you look back on the progress you've made. Another great way to celebrate your progress is by noting milestones like your first full conversation in English or receiving your first compliment from a native speaker. These moments are significant and they deserve to be recognized. Your first successful conversation is a huge achievement, so take a moment to pat yourself on the back. Maybe you had a conversation with a friend, a stranger at a store, or even just practiced with a language partner. Whatever the situation, that moment shows that you are capable of using English in real-world situations, and that's a big deal. Likewise, receiving a compliment from a native speaker, whether about your pronunciation, vocabulary, or fluency, is another milestone that deserves to be celebrated. Compliments are a sign that others are noticing your hard work, and they're a reflection of your improvement. These moments of recognition can give you the confidence boost you need to keep going, especially when you're feeling discouraged. Another way to keep your motivation high is by rewarding yourself when you reach a language learning goal. Maybe you've been working on mastering a particular set of vocabulary words or improving your pronunciation. Once you achieve that goal, treat yourself to something you enjoy, whether it's a favorite snack, a night out with friends, or a relaxing activity. This reward system makes learning feel less like a task and more like a series of enjoyable experiences. It encourages you to keep pushing forward because you know that each milestone comes with a little celebration. Sometimes, during your learning journey, you might hit what's known as a plateau, where progress seems to slow down or stop altogether. Plateaus are a natural part of the process, and they can feel frustrating. However, celebrating small victories along the way, like learning a new phrase or successfully navigating a tricky conversation, can help you break through those moments of stagnation. Remember that language learning is a marathon, not a sprint. Progress is not always linear, and even on days when you don't feel like you're improving, you're still moving forward. In the long run, celebrating your progress keeps your motivation high and encourages you to continue practicing. The key is to stay positive, acknowledge your achievements, and reward yourself for the hard work you've put in. Every milestone you reach, no matter how small, is a reflection of your dedication and perseverance. By celebrating these victories, you'll stay inspired to keep learning and growing in your English speaking journey. 15. Be patient and don't fear mistakes. Learning a new language, especially one as rich and nuanced as English, is an ongoing journey. And one of the most important things to remember is to be patient with yourself. Language acquisition isn't something that happens overnight. It's a gradual process that involves making mistakes, learning from them, and improving over time. It's easy to get frustrated when you feel like you're not progressing as quickly as you'd like. But the truth is, mistakes are an essential part of the learning process. In fact, mistakes are your greatest teachers. They show you where you need to improve and help you grow as a speaker. First and foremost, understand that everyone makes mistakes, even native speakers. No one speaks perfectly all the time, and that's perfectly okay. Native speakers might make grammatical errors, mispronounce words, or slip up in casual conversation. The key to becoming a better English speaker isn't to avoid mistakes at all costs. It's to embrace them and learn from them. Every time you make an error, it's an opportunity to refine your skills and get one step closer to fluency. The more mistakes you make, the more you'll learn and the better you'll become. It's easy to feel embarrassed or discouraged when you make mistakes, but it's important to shift your mindset. Instead of viewing mistakes as failures, try to see them as stepping stones. Each mistake is a valuable lesson, and it's an inevitable part of the journey toward mastering a language. Mistakes are proof that you're trying and pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. Every time you attempt to speak, whether it's a small conversation or a more complex discussion, you're practicing and getting better, even if things don't go perfectly. One of the most important things to remember is that language learning is all about effort, not perfection. Confidence in speaking comes from consistent practice and making those small, incremental improvements over time. It's completely normal to have moments where you don't know the right word or struggle with pronunciation. But the more you speak, the more natural it becomes. With each sentence, whether it's perfect or not, you're getting better. Every time you engage in conversation, you're building the muscle memory needed to speak more confidently and fluidly. When you speak, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Be kind to yourself when things don't go as planned. Perfection isn't the goal, communication is. The goal is to be understood, to engage with others, and to continuously improve. The more you speak, the more comfortable you'll become. Over time, you'll notice that you start thinking more naturally in English, and the hesitation or fear of making mistakes will diminish. Patience is key. It may feel like progress is slow at times, but with every conversation, every new phrase you learn, and every mistake you make, you're moving closer to fluency. Trust the process and don't let temporary setbacks discourage you. The more you practice, the easier speaking English will become, and the more confident you'll feel in your abilities. Keep going, stay patient, and don't fear mistakes. You're already on the right path, and with consistent effort, you will get there. Fluency in English or any language isn't something that happens in a single day. It's a gradual process, one that is built day by day, sentence by sentence, mistake by mistake. The key to becoming fluent lies in consistent effort, an eagerness to learn, and the courage to step outside your comfort zone and make mistakes along the way. No matter where you are in your language learning journey, remember that each small step brings you closer to your goal. Consistency is your best friend. By practicing every day, even for just a few minutes, you keep the language fresh in your mind. Whether you're speaking to yourself in the mirror, joining an English speaking group, or simply listening to podcasts, those daily actions accumulate and lead to significant progress. Even when progress feels slow, know that every bit of practice matters. With each repetition, you're reinforcing the language, making it more natural and automatic. Curiosity is another powerful tool in your language learning toolbox. Stay curious about the language, about the words, the culture, the nuances of how things are said. When you approach learning with curiosity, it makes the journey much more enjoyable and rewarding. The more you explore the language, the more you'll discover how rich and dynamic it is. Curiosity drives you to keep learning, to keep improving, and to keep challenging yourself in new ways. Finally, courage is essential. It takes courage to speak a new language, especially when you're still learning. The fear of making mistakes can hold many people back, but the truth is, mistakes are part of the process. The courage to speak, even when you're unsure, is what leads to real growth. With time, you'll build confidence, and speaking English will feel more natural and less intimidating. So remember this: fluency isn't a destination, it's a journey that unfolds each day. By staying consistent, being curious, and having the courage to keep speaking, you'll gradually notice the progress you've made. The more you practice, the easier it will become to speak English with ease and confidence. Keep going and trust that the effort you put in today will pay off tomorrow. You've got this.